Does Kirby Smart still look up at Nick Saban in the top 25 rankings of college football's coaches today? The Athletics' Bruce Feldman thinks so. Hit like and subscribe on the DawgsHQ YouTube channel as we explore this topic that cannot get beaten to death soon enough. So Kirby Smart, number 2 on Bruce Feldman's list of the top 25 coaches in the game. Nick Saban is number 1. And the off-season arbitrary coach rankings are off. Feldman ranks coaches in his annual exercise for The Athletic, and you don't have to subscribe to that site to see the top 2 coaches on his list. Alabama's Nick Saban comes in at number 1, Georgia's Kirby Smart comes in at number 2, and then the paywall hits you in the face. All the Alabama fans say, well, duh, Saban is clearly the GOAT, and many Georgia fans may agree with that. But others watch Georgia win back-to-back national titles, one of which was against Alabama and Nick Saban, and they say, hey, Kirby Smart is the current standard. We'll get to that argument in a moment, but first, let's hear the case for Saban. And admittedly, this case is much easier to make. Georgia still only has 1 win over Alabama since 2007. The Crimson Tide have more national titles and SEC titles and Heisman Trophy winners over that span. Nick Saban, by and large, is still college football's GOAT. If you ask anyone in the country, that's probably who they'd say. He hasn't done anything to lose that title, not even in the championship drought, and I'm using air quotes, that goes back to the 2020 season. Not even that precludes him from the status of the greatest of all time. His body of work remains far superior to anyone in the game, not just Smart. Georgia and Kirby Smart will have to navigate an expanded SEC and college football playoff to catch Saban's 7 national championships in his career, and one of those, of course, was at LSU in 2003. Saban's teams are 9-4 all-time in his 13 college football playoff appearances. Kirby Smart's teams have only played in 6. That isn't even half of Saban's total. Here's the case for Kirby Smart. And I've made this case before. It comes down to recency versus resume. If you want to choose resume, then Saban is obviously your guy. There's no conversation there. But if you look at recency, the standard by which many athletic directors and administrations hold their coaches, and the standard by which many of those administrations make their coaching choices, then it's Smart. That's the case for Kirby. He's done more with his team lately. And in the world of college football, recency is all that matters. Coaches can win 10 or 11 games one year and get fired within the next 2 seasons if they miss a bowl game. There's no such thing as harboring goodwill on past accomplishments. That's just the way things work in this game's topsy-turvy wheel of mega competition. It's not slowing down. On the flip side of that judgment, recent success gets magnified while coaches are living in it. And that's what Georgia's living in right now, back-to-back titles. Smart's teams have 1 loss over the past 2 seasons, none in the regular season. That loss came against Alabama in the SEC championship game in 2021. Yeah, you could use that as evidence that Saban is still the king, but if you're making the case for Smart to be number 1, could just be proof that his only defeat since Alabama's last national championship was to the defending national champ at the time. Whoever you think is first, debates like this probably won't change your mind. Kirby Smart has a ways to go to catch Nick Saban's career accomplishments, but even Saban still hasn't gone 15-0 or won back-to-back national championships in the CFP era. Who's number 1 on the top 25 list of coaches in your mind? Let us know in the comments. Peace.